us a little bit about herself, why this topic matters to her, and why it should matter to you. Virginia, welcome to the show.
Hey, Shauna Lee, thanks so much for having me today. I am Virginia Muskis. I'm the referral diva, and solo entrepreneurs and service-based experts hire me to help them add hundreds of thousands of dollars to their revenue stream by the power of referrals. Most of them are sick and tired of networking for nothing, over giving and under receiving, and wondering where the next referral or recommendation is going to come from. So I help them build a system for building their network so that their network actually creates cash flow for their business. And it's super important to me for people to really understand that even though 98% of the service-based business owners out there rely on referrals to grow their business, the vast majority of them don't have a plan for that. And let's face it, if you don't have a plan, you're just throwing spaghetti against the wall. So I think it's really important to understand that if you want to market your business by referral, you got to have a plan for it.
Absolutely. I mean, having a plan is the cornerstone for everything you're doing, regardless of whether you're using referrals or content marketing or et cetera, you know, the list goes on. But when it comes to actually getting your referrals, like, it's so dynamic that if you don't have a plan, then you're really like, what are you just doing? You're just hopping on coffee chats for shits and giggles. Like, that doesn't make sense.
Right.
So let's dive into that. Because, like, what are people doing then who don't have a plan? What does that look like?
So it's really funny. I have a couple of cute little stories about it and little metaphors that I use. One of them is, I call it Dr. Seuss marketing. That's all the people that are walking around the networking event going, "Are you my client? Are you my client? Are you my client?" It's "Are you my mama" marketing, right?
Oh my goodness.
Or they might be doing the Elmer Fudd marketing, which is, "Shh, be very quiet. I'm hunting for clients." Right? So they're out there kind of hunting for clients, and that's really just cold calling in person. And I'd rather cold call over the phone, to be honest with you, because the worst they can do is hang up on you. No one can punch you in the face or spit on you if you're on the phone. So I'll keep my cold calling to what do they call it? Telemarketing.
Yeah.
But when I'm in person, I'm looking to make the right fit connections that can lead me to the right fit clients.
Love that. So if you haven't grabbed your pen and paper, we are looking to make the right fit connections that lead to the right fit clients. Yeah. Write that down, because that is going to change the way you approach your networking. So we're trying desperately to not be Elmer Fudd. We're trying to not Dr. Seuss the you know what out of this. We need a plan. Yeah. We need to figure out how are we going to get from, okay, I want referrals, because we know that referrals are so important, right? Like, actually, let's start there. In fact, the power of referrals over many, if not all, types of marketing.
Well, I think if you compare it, listen, I'm an email marketer, so I'm not dissing on email marketing or digital marketing or anything else. But if we're just going to look at statistically speaking, okay, statistically speaking, let's just say I have an email list. The email list is 5,000 people. So nice, modest size list. And I have a 30% open rate. Okay. Now I'm down to maybe 100 or 1,500 people who are taking a look at what I have to say. And then I'm going to get, what would you say, a 1% or a 2% click-through rate? So let's be really, really modest and say a 1% click-through rate. So now I have 15 people out of my list of 5,000 people that even clicked over to the website. And then I don't know what a good conversion on that is. Let's say 20% convert. Well, now I'm going to have 3 sales conversations. Well, there's a problem with that. And that is that there's a 75% likelihood that I'm going to have exactly 0 sales from those 3 conversations, because the conversion rate, the average conversion rate on cold outreach or even, digital marketing is between 20 and 25%. So in order to, it's 1 in 4, 1 in 5. And so it just means you need a lot of volume and constantly being out there representing yourself and putting your material out to get traction. And early stage entrepreneurs are seeing really experienced people like Brendan Burchard and Christian Michelson and Cody Sanchez, and like there are people out there, James Clear. They built these big wide audiences, and now they're reaping the benefits of 5, 10, 15 years of audience building. So this new emerging entrepreneur comes out and says, "Ooh, I'm going to do what I see," but they don't see the decade prior to what someone's doing right now.
Thank you for saying that. Is so important, because you see this is what I like to call, and now I'm not going to say that James Clear and the other people are doing this, but what we're seeing is what you're just describing is being emulated in less favorable ways, and I call it misleading marketing. It's those people who will say, look at my Lamborghini, look at my bank account, look at my this, that, the other. There are now regulations on that in social media world, but they're saying that, and they're saying, I made that in a month. But they fail to mention the multiple years and the multiple failures that they realized leading up to that. And so that's very misleading. Now, I don't believe, and in fact, after reading, of course, Atomic Habits and a number of other things, James Clear in particular, he doesn't omit the fact that he built that audience first. And so that's not misleading marketing. However, having that understanding that it takes a long time to get to that pivotal moment of extreme success is important. So I want to thank you for bringing that up, because that's something that's very rarely mentioned, and something that can be used in a very misleading way if you don't look at it with a critical eye.
Yeah, for sure. And my grandson just popped in there. So
if everybody joining us knows that I'm good at talking, so we're good.
There you go. And I heard every last thing that you said. So yeah, it is really critical. And so when you're newer when you're emerging, when you're starting out and you're just starting to audience build, you really need to borrow other people's lists, other people's influence, other people's support, other people's networks in order to begin to grow your own. And so what I think is so critically important about this is that when you're doing referrals, you've got someone else who already has the established trust.
Right.
And so they're coming to you much closer to the yes. They're coming to you much further along in the buying cycle. I don't have to make a referral. I don't have to move them from unaware to problem aware to solution aware to product aware. They're coming product aware. They already know that they want some form of coaching or consulting. And all I need to do is maybe not screw it up. Right. So they're coming in a very high level of awareness, usually ready to make a buying decision. And what that means is that rather than getting 1 in 5, I'm going to get 3 out of 4 or 4 out of 5 to say yes, because they're coming pre-sold without objections, just trying to figure out which of the products and services is going to be the kind of the right fit product or service. They're no longer looking for a provider. And that's why it's so critical to understand the entire referral, using networking as a marketing process. And really what you're doing is you're marketing through other people. So when you're joint venture marketing, Shauna Lee, it's like, what I do is I say, you have a list of 5,000. Will you send my stuff out to your list of 5,000, and maybe I'm going to get between 15 to 30 opt-ins, 15 to 30 people that'll jump on my list, and they're curious about me, which means they're at least problem aware, but they're not solution seeking yet. They're not, they're not solution aware, and they're not most aware. They're not far enough along on that buyer cycle. I have to do a lot of work to nurture those 15 to 30 people to be able to get 2 or 3 that are interested for me to maybe get a client or 2 eventually. And so when people are starting out, I think it's really, really important for them to understand the difference between right fit audience and right fit prospect, because an audience is curious but not committed. A prospect is committed to solving their problem. They're not curious about a topic anymore. Curiosity happened a long time ago. They've stepped out of the audience to the forefront and said, I need help. This now is a problem that I want to solve. And that the only way to get there to those people quickly is for you to train your joint venture partners and your strategic partners to be referral partners. So if someone says no to me, I don't want what you have, Virginia, then I want to say to them, well, how do you want to solve the problem? And then I want to run a sales process so I can send them to a person in my network who can solve that problem. So my motto is no fish goes unfried.
I love that.
Right?
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. The thing is too, I love all that you've said, because these are the questions that I often have to ask my clients about, who is your ideal client? Many people jump to demographics. We actually need to dive into the psychographics and into how they're addressing them at different stage in the buyer's journey. Mm-hmm. And that's something that's often forgotten when people are just creating content. They're doing the proverbial just show up, right? And that doesn't work. And so that's why you need to ask these questions and jump along. But if you want to jump ahead to get them in that spot where they are ready to make a decision, that's where these referrals come into play. And you mentioned that from an analytic, from a strategic point of view, but also I want everyone watching to consider this from a psychological point of view.
Yeah.
Right. When a person, like if you're introduced to, you need your house painted, you're introduced to somebody who has worked with your friend. Your friend's like, hey, buddy over here, he did my house. He did a really great job. Versus, oh, this ad looks really nice. Who are you going to work with? Probably the guy who painted your friend's house. It's just more likely. And if you can create, as a business owner rather than the consumer, if you can create those connections, then anyone who's being referred to you from a trusted connection is more likely to work with you over whoever else they may have been considering. And same vice versa. And so if you're making these referrals to somebody else and they're converting, you're establishing trust with your referral partners as well, and probably making coin.
Probably, right? Probably. The key here is, though, Shauna Lee, and this is what I find really key. When people come to me, they don't have enough of it dialed in to even teach a partner what to look for, what to listen for, and what to ask. So if you don't have your right fit prospect dialed in, if you just say coaches, if you just say accountants, whatever, right? I want left-handed dentists that live in Poughkeepsie. Okay, a referral partner can probably find a couple of left-handed, dentists that live in Poughkeepsie. I remember teaching a class, and I sent the class home at night, and I said, on your way home, I want you to look for a red Cadillac CTS. The first night I said, I want you to just look for a car with 4 wheels. And they came back the next morning, and I said, who found a car with 4 wheels? And nobody was like, I didn't even look. Yeah. So I said, well, tonight, I sent them home second night. I said, tonight I want you to go on the road and I want you to look for a red Cadillac CTS. And I told this whole story about why I love red Cadillac CTSs. And it all boiled down to a commercial for the Cadillac that had Christy Brinkley bopping out of a nightclub, and she gets in the car, she slides into the car as only Christy Brinkley can do. And the tagline is, when you turn on your car, does it return the favor?
Ooh, and spicy.
I'm so spicy. I was like, I think I want that car. I want that car. So what was really interesting, the next morning, people came back and said, well, I saw a red luxury car, but it wasn't a Cadillac or a CTS. Somebody's like, well, I saw a Cadillac, but it wasn't red and it wasn't a CTS. Somebody said, I saw a Cadillac, or I saw a CTS, but it was black. But everybody found a car. And I said, that's the key. It's like, I made you look. That's different from capturing the attention of an audience. And so it's super important to get dialed in on who do you really want to work with, because your referral partners bring you buyers.
Yes.
And you want them to bring you right fit buyers who are ready to buy, or as close to that as you can find. And you need a system for that. And it all starts with knowing what that right fit client would be. And just the definition for me of a right fit client is the client that is going to pay you the most money and have success the fastest.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Absolutely. And have the most profound success, right?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And that makes so much sense. And I love this conversation around right fit client versus right fit audience, because I think it's really, while you stress the importance of knowing your right fit client, and I back you 100% on that, it is equally important to understand who your right fit audience is. Because
Absolutely.
that's who are going to be your referral partners. But not only that, who are going to attract your right fit audience, right? So they may not become referral partners. Sorry, I misspoke.
Yeah,
Your right
client.
fit audience, yes, your right fit audience can include referral partners and should, but they don't necessarily have to be your referral partners to still be people who attract your right fit clients. And then you're able to make those strategic alliances and connections that allow you to get in front of the right people. And it's all connected. And understanding who you are, your branding, your messaging, your transformation, that is all integral to every step of this element of marketing. I'm going to
Yeah,
say
and I
every
think
step of every element of marketing, but
yeah, and what I think is here is like in an audience, right? You're building an audience by helping people that are unaware that there's a problem, that a problem exists, that a problem exists. And once they're like, "Oh wow, a problem exists. I wonder if I have the problem." And then some of those people will funnel into, "I'm problem aware. Oh, I kind of do have that problem." Then they're going to ask themselves, "Do I care about this problem? Like it's a problem, but do I care?" Okay, well, if I don't care about losing weight, or if I'm just fine the way I am, then all the losing weight solutions are irrelevant to me, even though I might be 10 pounds overweight, because I don't have a compelling reason to lose those 10 pounds. But then one day, maybe my pants don't zip. And I think, oh, then it becomes like my choices are lose these 10 pounds or go buy a whole new wardrobe. I don't have money for a whole new wardrobe. Besides, I like my clothes. I think I'd rather lose the 10 pounds. Now I'm solution seeking. Now I'm becoming product aware. Okay, well, what products are out there that could help me lose 10 pounds quickly and easily? Then when I select one, I become most aware. I'm going to go searching for a magic pill that will help me lose all this weight. That's the audience process. And I'm not saying that it isn't important, but I am saying that for an early stage entrepreneur, that is one heck of a heavy lift. What's a lot easier is to start top down. Who do I want at the end of my funnel? Let me really define that. Then let me find some people who are serving those exact same people in ways that I don't. Example, my accountant. My accountant looks at people's top line revenue every single day. My accountant can say, "Are you networking to find clients? How's that going? Is that a huge waste of time for you?" They know how to ask the questions when they know what to look for. Oh, look at that declining top line revenue. Then they know what to ask. Are you networking for this? Are you relying on referrals? How are you getting clients? What are you doing? Do you want connections that lead to cash flow? You do. Let me introduce you to Virginia. They know how to do that. And so when you have 5, 6, 7 individuals that are willing to just notice, oh, this person has the problem, ask a couple of questions, and then make the suggestion, if this is something that you'd like to deal with, maybe you'd like to talk to Virginia. That is not a heavy lift for me. All I need to do is be really aware of, what does my right fit client look for? What kinds of things do they say? And what other problems do they have that need to be solved? And who solves those problems? And those people become my referral nexus that are going to see my client on a regular basis in the course of their normal, natural day, and can make the connection to solve the problem.
And it's easy for them, easy for their clients, easy for you. They've overserved their clients by referring them to somebody who can then help them expand what they already need help to expand. Like, it's just, it feels like to me a no-brainer, right? And now that said, like, this whole concept feels like a no-brainer. But there's always something more. There's always some special sprinkle of something that could impact all of the things that we've just discussed. So I'm going to invite you to share whatever's burning deep inside you that you need to share with our audience today. But first, I'm going to remind everybody that this type of conversation happens every single week. We have these conversations that are so rich and will help you move forward in your business, remembering that you are never not marketing. So every single aspect matters. So you want to subscribe, you want to join the conversation and ask the questions, because we're not going anywhere. So join us next week. And Virginia, you've got the stage. Let us know what is burning inside you that you need to share with the world.
I think the most important thing to understand in today's marketing world is that you absolutely need to do both things. You need to be audience building, and especially if you're earlier mid stage and you're solo doing this, starting with referrals is the fastest path to cash. In fact, if you do this properly, you can make $30,000, $40,000 in 90 days by using the connections that you already have. But it absolutely rests upon your ability to get clear on who are the people that you serve, what is the transformation that they are seeking that only you can provide, how are you going to provide it, and making sure that you're not following the ascension model. And what that means is that you're not offering a 27 tripwire with a 97, then a 297, then a 497, then a 1997, hoping someday people will graduate up to your high ticket offer. The more sane way to get started and make sure that you control your cash flow as an emerging early stage solo entrepreneur, coach, consultant, author, speaker, expert, is to develop your high ticket offer, your 10K, 15K, 25K offer, and sell it and offer it directly to the people that are looking for the transformation you offer. And later on, after you've spent the time to really build out that audience and you've got your case studies and your testimonials and you've got your whistle wet, then you can start offering lower cost, lower ticket programs. And I outline all of this on my Business by Referral Blueprint, which is right there on the screen for you guys to grab the QR code. And I'm sure that the link will be in the show notes as well.
It absolutely is. I'm so excited. This is an amazing just concept that you're being able to present to our audience today. I subscribe by the same mentality, and I cannot stress enough how much more impactful for you as a human that strategy becomes when you're running a business that way. Like, we're not just talking about bottom line dollar, we're also talking about lifestyle. We're talking about ease of mind. Relax into it and let your business grow to where it should be. If it's not there already, get that, get that blueprint, start the journey, make it happen. And don't forget that if you're looking into diving a little bit deeper into who you are as a brand, how you can resonate deeper with your audience, how you can refine your messaging to get that clarity so you can actually talk to those referral partners, don't forget to go to www.shaunalee.com, because I do that. So with that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. We will chat soon.